Next, we have Jess Yan. She is a first-year master's student in C's studying environmental justice. A fun fact about her is that she used to be a sushi chef. Go ahead, Jess.
Hello. Yeah, so I think I'm the last one speaking for today, so we're gonna kind of take a little bit of a different perspective here. So my talk is going to be about corporate volunteerism in food nonprofits. And I'm specifically going to be talking about Southeast Michigan, Detroit, and like what this ecosystem kind of looks like in this area. So from the outside, from like a public narrative, the way that corporate kind of justifies their existence as not just for profit is through things such as corporate social responsibility. I'm sure you've heard of things like the triple bottom line, and like people matter just as much as profit. These are like common sayings that corporate will kind of espouse to kind of justify their existence outside of just for profits. And this is kind of a more recent development. This concept of corporate social responsibility. And so there's this ecosystem that I've seen where there is corporate and they have their employees and they exist as an entity here. And then as part of their goal for corporate social responsibility, they send their employees out to volunteer. And in this case, we're going to be looking at food nonprofits. So like food rescue organizations, food pantries, soup kitchens, food nonprofits. Yes, my cat is very annoying. So we have corporate, we have a food nonprofit, and then we have the community that the food nonprofit serves. And in this specific case, we are looking at Detroit. We're looking at Black and Brown communities that are specifically more at risk and more harmed by our structural systems here in the US, in Michigan, in Detroit. And so this is like kind of what we see. We see corporate doing good work. We see corporate giving back to the community by sending their employees out and doing the good work. So yeah, and we see that nonprofits also really need this labor force behind them. There are some studies that show like within a nonprofit, there's the volunteer to employee ratio of like 900 to 4. So the volunteer labor force is huge. It's needed, it's required in order to serve the community and serve the people that need aid. So is this system okay? Does the system work? So let's kind of like unpack this a little bit and see like who actually benefits from this. Because, you know, when we see corporate doing good work, we're thinking, oh, they do have a small cost. So they pay for lost employee time or lost wages, lost labor time. But the return that they get is huge. They get, there are studies that show the employee bonding is improved through volunteering. And as a result of employee bonding, we have increased employee productivity, which then would mean increased corporate profits. And then we also see, of course, increased public relations for doing good work in the community and providing jobs for the community and a whole slew of benefits for that corporate group. So yeah, we're just kind of like rethinking this ecosystem here, rethinking this public narrative and reframing it in a way where we're starting to see that corporations contribute to making a community poor, and the nonprofits that are trying to help this community require the labor from the corporation. So then this cycle is created where the corporation is needed then to save the community through supposed altruism. And this cycle then justifies corporate capitalism. It justifies white male savior models, justifies gentrification and takeover of cities by white corporations because of this good volunteer work and because this corporation brings jobs to the community. So some specific example, and this is not to shame anyone or anything, this is more of like a critique of corporate volunteerism as a whole within food nonprofits. This is not, if your parents work for this one group that I'm about to mention, I am not shaming them in any way, like they do good work. It's more of the system. So one example is Fiat Chrysler Automotives, FCA. So in Detroit, they have 2 manufacturing plants, and I think they just actually got permits to expand these plants even more. And these plants have been polluting the area with their smoke and whatnot. And of course, this is mostly affecting the health of Black and Brown residents in Detroit. And this contribution that FCA does to the city is very negative. It's very bad. But we don't hear about that. We hear more about the good work that they do volunteering at Forgotten Harvest, or sorry, now my cat is eating my dinner. And they have this volunteer program called Motor Citizens, and how great is it that they pay their employees to volunteer? So really kind of, we want to kind of reframe how we are seeing this, how the public narrative is described, and how just kind of complicate things a little bit more and just think about this ecosystem in a different way. So yes, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat, but yeah, this is really just an awareness thing, just to kind of rethink our systems and unpack our systems that we know to be true. Thank you.